Hello, Majestic Mountain lovers. Today is July the 9th, and I'm going to take you around the garden and show you what's going on. It's been a really cool summer, so the temperatures have been wonderful. The only thing I've had problems with this year that I can really state is the squash. I don't know what's going on with my squash. Had a slow start. I put in some more seeds and some more plants, but it's not producing any fruit as of yet. So that's a little disappointing because normally at this time of year I have squash. I have picked a few tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, and you'll see that there are some more that are starting out. So follow me along and see how the garden is progressing. Okay, so you'll remember the herb garden. All the onions and the chives have actually gone to seed now, so again, this is a good time to go ahead and pick them. These are all the onion seeds. Now they'll just fall in here, but if I wanted to put them in another bed, it'd be a great time to go ahead and harvest all the seeds because they're going to fall anyways. So we've got a mixture here. Mostly we have oregano, which has certainly taken over my garden. In this bed is a mixture, and surprisingly enough, and I don't know where it came from, but I have a strawberry. And if you aren't familiar with how to continue your growth of strawberries, they're going to have runners on them. And what you'll want to do is take the runner, here's the runner here, and it's going to have a little growth at the end, and you want to go ahead like I did here. I've taken the runner and I've actually put it in the dirt. And what's going to happen is that's going to then set a whole nother plant. I've got one back here too. So that's how you can make your strawberry plants multiply, is going ahead and planting the runners. So I don't even know where it came from. Over here I did plant some squash in this bed only because you'll see in my other bed, for some reason, we don't know if it's the dirt. We did mulch some oak leaves and put a lot in there, so that could be something that has hindered the dirt. This is just flowers. These are mostly cosmos and again some oregano. You'll remember when I planted my carrots and my beets in this bed. I did harvest a lot of the peas last night. We had some in rice and they were super sweet. Probably pretty soon I need to kind of go in here and see how the stalks are looking on the carrots, because once you can see that they're kind of getting thick, and sometimes you can even see the heads of the carrots popping up, so that's when you might want to go ahead and start pulling some out. At this point I think they're going to be small still, but they're all doing super good. These are some what you call in the garden world are just some volunteer tomatoes. Must have had them in the dirt seeds or they fell last year. I have a couple of them in here. This volunteer has even got blooms on it already. So it's going to set some fruit here pretty soon. You can see my peas are doing really good. Had good, I don't know, I must have picked maybe about 30 peas last night just from this, and then I'll reseed this in another week or two so that I have them through the early fall. Again, my green beans, look at this. This is beautiful. Again, we have some volunteer tomato plants. You can see all my blooms. So pretty soon, probably within a week, I'll show you some little green beans that are gonna be producing. I've got the morning glories are starting to grow up. My point was I wanted them to just grow, you know, up here, and they will. I've just got to kind of sit back here a minute and pull some of the vines out and train it. They are starting to climb up here. That looks really pretty. The blooms are pretty, they're purple. There is different kinds of morning glories. My seeds were primarily in this bunch, I guess just the purple variety, because that's what I'm seeing on both sides. So that's okay, they're pretty. My squash is in there, kind of hidden, but I think he's gonna climb up. See some tomatoes. Again, we did pick a few cherries because we couldn't wait. You can see some hiding down in there. But primarily we just got the blooms going right now, so we're gonna see tomatoes in probably, I would say, the week. They grow pretty fast. I have harvested a couple of peppers. so we have a lot of different variety of tomatoes. This is a Better Boy, and it has a lot of blooms. This one is an early girl, and we have found, I think I said that from one of my earlier videos, that these do set fruit a lot quicker. This one it's a Better Boy. The tomato on there doesn't look so good. It's got a little bit of scarring on it, so it may or may not be edible. But anyways, look at all the mint, of course, lots of mint. This bed, I did go ahead and put some squash in here as well, just because the other bed isn't doing so well. And then here's some basil, but what's going to be the problem here is this bed gets too much sun. So I might go ahead and put up a shade panel today to not burn my basil. But here's the problem. At first I thought maybe it was the ground squirrels. That squash is looking better. Jim just picked that one up the other day. And this one was by seed. Some more seeds in there. See, something's eating it, or the leaves are yellow. I'm not sure, but they shouldn't look like that at this time, so I'm a little bummed about that, but hopefully we'll get some squash here before too long. And then down here, which I planned this purposely, if you remember, I told you I was going to put my lettuce down in here so that these would shade them. So that's working out okay. I did get in here and pull some lettuce for a salad the other day, so that was nice. And then last night we had fish, and I used some of the dill, and that was good. It's getting, gonna probably bolt here in a little bit where it goes to seed, so I might need to plant some more because it's gonna not be edible. And then these are just some tomatoes a friend gave me, also have blooms. That's our Bill and Margaret, our princess feather that has beautiful purple plumes on it. This poor little rose here, my sister brought this from my mom's old house up in Idlewild, and I'm trying to propagate it, so I'm not sure how that's going to go. It's still green, so there's a hope for that. And the end of the sweet peas, they're getting kind of dried out in the middle, but what I need to do is take the seed pods and spread them around so that I can have more around the garden. Flowers are doing okay. My sunflowers, I didn't have as many as I had planted, but I have quite a few in there. And then this is just all some random stuff. I think last year I had a bag or an envelope of some wildflowers, and so I think that's what these came from. And these little blue, I think those are bachelor buttons. I put some more squash in here. I'm determined to have squash. This is a sunflower, smaller variety, and then the calendra, snapdragons. Again, in that same envelope, there must have been some carnations because I didn't plant these, purposely at least, but I do have some carnations, and those are gonna all bloom and pop open here pretty soon. More calendra. My project today is to go back through my rose bushes and completely cut off all of the dead roses. You can see I've got some new shoots, so it's really important to go ahead and take all the dead heads off so that you don't take all the nutrients from it. I do have a few of my hollyhocks blooming. They're so pretty. So we've got 3, look at those. Got a few blooms coming on over here. I've seen new shoots, so that's important because otherwise I won't get any roses. The blackberries over here have never done as well as the ones on the other side. Must get, it's just drier. The other ones are in a little bit of shade. See, all of this has to be cut. So that'll be my project. And then this little famous cherry tree, we had people actually stopping to see all these cherries. We picked them all, and we ate a lot of cherries. We gave a lot of cherries away. I think we must have had close to 50 pounds of cherries. So that was pretty amazing. Never had that many cherries off these trees. And then I told you that these two are actually seeds from that cherry tree. So it might take another year and it should mature and produce some fruit. So that'll be something to look forward to. Again, our apple tree did not do well. I don't know, it's got something going on with the base. So I've got to cut some dead out of there. The peach tree is doing great. I'm not sure how big these peaches will get, but it is full of peaches. So we're just going to keep watching that. And they've got some on the ground over there, so I'm surprised the chipmunks haven't eaten them. The grapes are doing wonderful. Got a lot of grapes going on. So they're not going to get too big. These are actually wine grapes, but they're pretty, so I like them. And then our tubs up here are doing really well. I've already cut all the snapdragons off because they'd already gone to seed. So I'll let those seeds dry. Very important. I've told you guys before, you've got to save your seeds because you can produce so many flowers pretty soon. Like, see how this is already getting, these are all the seeds, and that's just got one little tiny bloom. So I'll go ahead and just snip that off, and then so you can see all the new ones. So it's really important to deadhead. I've snipped all these, and then you get new flowers. And then that's my sweet potato vine that I had in the house last winter to save so that I could enjoy it again this year. So I'm going to do that again because that really saved a lot. Coming on. See them all. They're pretty much ready to pick. I sit out here as I'm working in the garden and just eat them. You always want your raspberries to turn almost just a tiny hue of purple. If they're red, they're not done. See how that one's just a little purple? And the blackberries take a little bit longer, but they're coming on nice. Look at that guy. Got lots of blackberries. Columbine's just done. Got a few blooms left. I went ahead and I cut this one down. Again, I save all the seeds because this whole thing, these are all the seed pods. And I'll go ahead and just clip those off. Let them dry. I did deadhead all of this. So it's all looking pretty good. This is called a Queen Anne's lace. Almost couldn't think of it. It has really pretty flowers. I have some down in the lower part of the garden too. I gotta water those today. So, okay, so here's the, we actually have two plum trees. This first one here doesn't really set fruit. I'm not sure why. It does have a few, but nothing that we can probably eat. But what's so interesting is when we got this tree, we didn't even know, but if you look down in there, it's been grafted, and what they grafted on was an apricot. So we have a lot of apricots. Now they haven't started turning peach color yet, but it is full of fruit, so that's going to happen here soon. And then the other tree is a plum tree, and it is full of plums. So between the birds fighting for them and us, it's always a race, but they've got a ways to go. They're still green and hard, but it's full. It's full tree. Last year I did make some plum jelly, and that was really yummy. So, okay, so thank you for joining me in the garden today. If you have any questions, leave some comments at the bottom. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. So probably within a week I'll shoot another video. Hopefully I'll have a lot more tomatoes, possibly the green beans. Again, I have peppers already, so it's coming on and I'm very excited. So have a wonderful day. It's again July the 9th, so we've got quite a lot of gardening ahead. So thank you very much and have a beautiful, majestic mountain day.